Today, I'm making dinner for my mother. So when I get my mother on her own and I cook for her, I often throw shrimp on the grill. But this shrimp is tossed with this butter lemon sauce that is very elegant and very flavorful. All right, so here I have some beautiful shrimp. This is 1.5 pounds of extra large shrimp, which are 21.25s. That means there's between 21 and 25 shrimp per pound. And now these were frozen. I've let them thaw in the fridge overnight. And notice I have them resting on paper towels. That just helps get rid of any excess moisture. All right, so I'm gonna pat these dry, set them aside, let them continue draining while we prep the sauce. Now this recipe is really different because we're gonna cook the butter sauce right on the grill next to the shrimp. And for that, you're gonna need a disposable aluminum pan. You can use a pie plate, but I like these big pans because it gives you a little extra room to toss the shrimp with the butter. So we have 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Now we're gonna add 1/4 cup of lemon juice. And that butter's gonna melt and mix with the lemon juice and really just make a simple, delicious sauce. Gonna spice things up with some pepper flakes. Add as much or as little as you dare. That's about 1/2 teaspoon. I'm gonna use a garlic press here and just press 3 garlic cloves right into the pan, right through the garlic press. All right, and last but not least, we're gonna add a little salt, about 1/8 teaspoon of table salt. That's it for the sauce, gonna set that aside. And now let's focus on skewering the shrimp. Now, all of these shrimp are gonna fit on 3 skewers, which I know isn't a lot of skewers for 1.5 pounds of shrimp, but that's because we're gonna pack them tightly on the skewers, which helps them cook a little more slowly so you have more time on the grill to get some good browning. So now the easiest way to skewer shrimp is to arrange it on a cutting board. And notice I'm gonna alternate the shrimp, heads to tails, tails to heads, heads to tails. That way you get a nice even shrimp on the skewer. And notice how I like to stack a few at a time. This just makes it easier. Of course you could do 1 shrimp at a time, but I like this method because it's a little more efficient. Now I'm gonna go up one side of each of the shrimp. And if you notice, I put the skewer just on one side of the shrimp. And that's because I've learned over the years, no matter how good your skewers are, these shrimp, as they start to cook, start to twirl around the skewer. So using double skewers just makes them easier to maneuver around the grill. So I'm gonna go on the other side and double skewer the shrimp. It's a pro move right here. So the shrimp are tightly packed on these skewers. Just gonna wash my hands and we can finish getting them ready for the grill. So just a few more ingredients to get these shrimp ready for the grill, starting with some olive oil, 2 or 3 tablespoons, drizzled nicely over the shrimp. I wanna make sure the oil gets on both sides. So I'm gonna use a brush, and of course, whatever gets on the sheet pan, you can kind of rub them in. Yeah, nicely coated with oil. A little bit of salt and pepper. All right, last but not least, we're gonna add just a little bit of sugar to one side of the shrimp skewers. That just helps them get nice and brown on the grill. So just 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. It's gonna sprinkle it lightly over one side of the shrimp. That's it, nice and simple. Now it's time to go heat up the grill. Okay, this grill has been heating up with all the burners on high for 15 minutes and it is screaming hot. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is turn off 2 of the burners and leave 1 of the burners on because you don't need a lot of real estate for grilling just 3 skewers of shrimp. But also I love having a cool part of the grill. It's like a holding zone. It's like the oh no zone. If something's burning or on fire or your timing gets off, you can slide everything to the cool part of the grill and just have it in a holding pattern. So it's like a little safety zone. All right, so first on, I'm gonna put that pan with the butter and the lemon juice and the garlic. I'm just gonna let that butter melt and let it start to make a sauce. This takes about a minute or 2. As that butter melts, you can start to smell the garlic as it's cooking and the red pepper flakes, and of course all that lemon juice. All right, that butter is melted and the sauce is smelling good. I'm gonna slide it over here to the cool part of the grill or the holding zone, but I'm gonna keep my eye on it. Sometimes this grill can get away from me because it's a pretty hot grill. If I start to see it charring around the edges, I'll just take it off altogether. All right, time for the shrimp. Now, these shrimp, remember, are sugared on this top side. So I'm gonna start them sugared side down. So I'm gonna cook this first side of the shrimp for about 4 minutes, which is actually kind of a long time given how small they are. But I really wanna concentrate the heat on that one side to get a nice, good char. And again, having the shrimp stacked on the skewers as they are, almost crowded on the skewers, is perfect because you can spend a little extra time to get that char without worrying about overcooking the shrimp. All right, it's been about 4 minutes on that first side. Time to flip them over. Oh, look at that beautiful char. So just another couple minutes on the second side. Not gonna cook it for 4 minutes. By then, the shrimp would be long overcooked. So the second side, just a minute or two. All right, so these shrimp have been cooking for a few minutes on the second side, and now is for the fun part. I'm gonna slide the shrimp off the skewers right here at the grill into the butter sauce. Now these skewers are hot, so you wanna use a pot holder or a towel. Using your tongs, just slide the shrimp right off. Right into that butter sauce. Oh yeah, grilled buttery shrimp. I mean, come on. All right, now you just wanna shake the shrimp around in that butter sauce. I'm putting it back over the heat just for a final 30 seconds. Let the shrimp and that sauce heat through together. Oh, you can smell the garlic and the shrimp and that lemon. All right, that shrimp is ready to come off the grill. Time to put it on a clean sheet and head inside. All right, here we have the grilled shrimp, still nice and hot. Has that butter sauce with the lemon, the garlic, and the pepper flakes. Gonna finish it with a little chopped parsley, about 1/3 of a cup. Just wanna toss that around. It's all about the butter sauce. Now you could just throw this disposable pan right on the counter and let people serve themselves. I've done that in the past. It works, especially for a really casual meal. But this is for my mom, so I'm gonna make it look pretty and put it on a nice platter. Oh. All right, let's not forget about the sauce in the pan. I'm gonna try to collect it all into one corner. And you pour it right over the shrimp. Ooh, yes, ma'am. All right, there are the shrimp. Finally, just a few fresh lemon wedges. Just if you want them a few over the top of your shrimp. Fresh lemons never hurt. And the shrimp is perfectly cooked, tender on the inside. I love the char of the grill and that lemon butter sauce. It doesn't get better than that. Thanks for watching. What'd you think? Leave a comment below and let me know what you're excited to cook this week. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. You can get today's recipes and more for free at our website, americastestkitchen.com/JuliaAtHome.